So I got into a car accident. Long story short, I've been coming in 10 minutes late for the grocery job I don't really like. And my boss is like, my manager's like, oh, that's unacceptable, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, like, I really don't give a fuck. I kind of, like, I don't know, man. Like, cause I'll be there and like I'll do my job to the best of my ability. The place is just short staffed. They're short staffed. They kind of swindled me. They're like, yeah, you're gonna be a full time cashier, and then it's like, yeah, you'll cashier when people who are there to cashier don't show up, and then I became a person in charge of two other departments I didn't want to be in charge of, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, bro, fire me because this is not what I signed up for. But it's like, whatever. Um. Anyway, they pull me into HR. They're like, you coming in late too much. Two more times, you're out. You're gonna get terminated. And I'm just kind of like, I've never been fired before. But I was like, all right, whatever. And then I was like, all right, great, as like a response. And the HR guy's like, no, not great. And I was like, oh right, I'm supposed to say something like I understand, or I'm like, I don't know what you want me to say, because they thought I just either I think I confused them because they were like, does this guy understand what we're telling him, that he's like about to get fired, or like does he not care? And it's like, it's the latter, bro. I understand, I just don't really care. That happened. Then they were getting on me about this stupid like lightning, that doesn't make sense. Uh like it's like neon highlighter neon yellow vest they want me to wear to help people with the self-serve machines. Mind you, I've cross-trained in, but was not what I signed up for full time. But I've ended up having to do that full time anyway, which is fine. The job isn't that hard. That's not the issue. Isn't the work or showing people how to use the self checkout machine or how to ring up their own groceries. That's the easy part. But they want me to fucking wear a neon bra that mind you, I'm 6'3". I'm fat. This thing does not fit on me. It doesn't fit, and it's like, well, have you tried it on? No, because I'm not gonna fuck. I can just look at it and know it's not gonna fit. Like, it's just common sense that thing's not going to fit on me. I'm not wearing it. I don't even care if they had one that fit me. I'd still wouldn't wear it on principle. You gotta have principles in life. You gotta, like, put your foot down on certain things. You can't, like, compromise, like, oh, well, they're paying me, so, you know, I guess I'll look like shit because they're paying me. No. There's no principles are priceless. You can't. I wasn't brought up that way to look like a fool. You feel me? So I'm not going to look like that. Like, this isn't, I'm not a Boo. This isn't Aladdin. Like, I'm not a genie. I'm not gonna wear this, like, fucking vest. That makes me look silly. Like, it looks terrible. And I'm like, first of all, I asked the dude during the HR meeting, I was like, yo, what is the point of that thing? And he was like, it's so customers can differentiate the employees from the employees working the self whatever. And I'm standing there like, I've never had that issue. And first of all, it's not like I'm going in there like naked or not following the dress code or whatever the fuck. First of all, when I was hired, they said no uniforms. A, B, the vest is uniform. C, this thing only came up last week. Like, I worked like 5 weeks into the job without this being a thing, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, you guys got to wear these," and I'm like, "What?" And then. And I told the dude, I'm like, yo, it's undignified. I'm not wearing it. And he's like, what? What's undignified about it? It's a yellow vest that says Line Ambassador on it. I'm like, dude, are you serious right now? You seriously need me to explain to you? Like, come on, you know what undignified means. Don't make me define undignified. Hold on. Let me do this for anyone in the audience that's confused. Oh fuck. Hold on a second. Dictionary. Okay, here we go. Dictionary. Undignified. Lacking in dignity. well, this isn't the Webster dictionary, but the dictionary, the definition I pulled up on my phone, it was like, to look foolish or lacking in dignity. And I looked foolish. I'm not gonna look like a fool. So I'm like, I'm not wearing that shit. And I told him, like, look, I'll do the job. I was like, yo, look, I'll do the job. I'll help customers. Hell, I'll ring up customers. I'm like, hell, I'll even wipe the toilets in the bathroom with the sanitation staff. I said, force me to do that shit. And those dudes don't have to wear fucking vests. So I'm like, I'm not fucking wearing it, dude. Like, and the dude's like, oh, I don't know what's going on in you today. As if, like, I'm like, nigga, are you serious right now? Because, like, I'm usually quiet and shit at work. So this dude's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I don't know what's going on in you today. I'm just like, look, I'm sorry that I'm talking back. I'm sorry that I, like, you know, you thought you could walk all over me because I'm like a quiet guy. I'm sorry I'm not like following the program master. So I'm like, no, I'm not wearing it. And like part of me was like, you know, like I'm not wearing it. Like I'm not wearing a neon bra. It's embarrassing. And I almost said demasculating, but I was like, let me rechange my vocabulary. If I say demasculating, then it's gonna sound like a man-woman thing when it's not. It's not a man-woman thing. It's a pride thing. Well, not even pride. It's just like I don't know how to say it. It's dignity, like pride and your self-respect. Like, yeah, am I a minimum wage grocer? Sure, but like a minimum wage grocer should still come in a dress respectable. Okay, all right. The dress code. I mentioned the dress code earlier. So the dress code, they said no uniforms anymore. The dress code, you just gotta wear a non-graphic tee and closed-toed shoes. That's it. So, you know, obviously, I have like a usually wear a bright colored polo, either cargo shorts when it's hot or jeans when it's like cold or raining or something, and closed-toed shoes. Like I'm always presentable at work. I've never like gone home wearing rags or like anything inappropriate or like a shirt with like beer or weed on it, you know, nothing inappropriate. I always dress like work appropriate, like casual, but like work casual, you know what I mean? And so I was like, look, bro, if people like I'm wearing a name tag. If you can't see like you see this big black guy standing in the middle of the thing, hovering over people, clearly not buying groceries, clearly helping people with the machine, you can use your common deductive sense to tell that I work there, you know? And someone was like, I've never, like, it's like, I'm like, dude, you're lying to me. You're lying to me when you're saying, well, people can't tell us apart. Like, are you kidding me? You fucking kidding me? I've never had someone walk up to me like, do you work here? They could tell I work there even if I didn't have the name badge of just hovering over people walking around. But anyway, see, I'm going on that rant. But, like, that was some bullshit. And, I was going to tell this story the night it happened, but, like, I got so tired from work, I didn't want to stream, which is unfortunate. They were like, so I don't even know, can I say her name? I feel like you're allowed online to say the names of people, like the first name of someone in your life, because it's a story. But I'm just gonna be careful, and instead of her name, I'm just gonna say, fuck, what's a name not? I'm gonna say, Alicia. Yeah, let's say that. Alicia. So Alicia was my general manager, like the manager in front of the whole store. The person I was in HR about the tardiness, his name was Kyle. I mean, Skylar. Shit, I did it. Damn it. Skylar. His name was Skylar, okay? You heard me right. I said Skylar. So Skylar pulls me in about the tardiness. Mind you, that dude never shows up on time. And don't give me the old stupid because he's a manager. First of all, if tardiness is such if me being 5 or 10 minutes late is such a big deal, then as the leader, you should be promptly there, right? Isn't this about leadership and shit? I'm not gonna sit here and say that my vice is like excusable. You shouldn't go late to work, but like, come on, bro, you're being picky at that point. Like I'll clock in at 2:05, right? And then Skylar will be like, you're 7 minutes late. So I'm like, bro, you're really gonna
I'm not the one spelunking in Robin's pussy.
That was an accident. I didn't mean to press that. But I'm like, Skylar, you're really gonna fucking time the 2 minutes it takes me to get out of my car, walk into this big ass store, and you eventually come out of your ivory tower to glance at me. Like, come on, dude. That's bullshit. You know when I clocked in. It tells you on your phone when I clocked in. You know I clocked in at 2:05. You know it wasn't 2:07. But anyway, like, you see what I mean, though? So suddenly, if I'm 10 minutes late, it becomes, oh, you were 15 minutes late. Because he's counting the steps it takes me to get in the building, which is bullshit. Yeah, it's just bullshit. There's no other way to say it. It's bullshit. So anyway, back to Aisha. Melisha? Yeah, Aisha. So Aisha was like, you gotta put on the vest. And I was like, I was trying to like talk my way around it. Well, not talk my way around, because I've been like, I knew about the vest policy that recently happened. I had a conversation with a coworker about it. They're like, yeah, we gotta wear these. I'm like, I'm not wearing that, bro. And I didn't want to bring him up because like I had this chill manager. Well, he doesn't work there anymore. I'm just gonna say his name. His name is Rob. I don't know his last name, so I don't think this is doxing him. But like, I was gonna say Bob, but there's already a Bob who works for me, so it'd be really confusing. I'm talking about Bob. Anyway, Rob was like, "Oh yeah, that's not for you or me, Emeka. We're that's too small for us. We're heavy set guys. Like I was like, all right, bet, cool. So I was like, yeah, I'm not wearing that shit. But like I get. Oh right, the thing I said earlier about it being demasculating is it's not a man-woman thing. It's a dignity thing. Because like all my other coworkers who are supposed to wear it are women, right? And I don't want to stand there being like, oh, I'm not wearing that. And then all the women have to, as if like all the women are supposed to wear it. And like I don't think anyone should wear it. Man, woman, or whatever folk you are, you shouldn't have to wear that shit to help people bag their groceries. Like it's undignified, you know? Just because you work minimum wage doesn't mean you don't have self-respect, you feel me? So Felicia's like, shit, I did it again. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just saying their names. I'm saying their names. It doesn't matter anymore. I tried the best I could. But like I don't know their last names. I think this is gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be fine, FBI. So Felicia, bye Felicia. Felicia was like, you gotta put on the vest or whatever. And I'm standing and I'm just like, oh, well, HR said there's no uniform. She's like, there's no uniform. It's a vest. I'm like, oh, so now you're just going to bullshit me with semantics. You're making me wear it. It's an article of, do I got to pull up the definition of a uniform? Oh, let me pull that up. Uniform. Let's see. Because this is how they gaslight you to making you think you're dumber than you are. Bro. I went to college. I'm not fucking stupid. Let's see. An identifying outfit or style of dress worn by members of a given profession, organization, or rank. See? It's an article of clothing, i.e. a vest, a hat, a bow tie, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and and you're making me wear it. It's not like if there was a choice in that. If it was like a tuxedo vest, and I chose to wear it at work, because I wanted to go from business casual to formal wear or some shit, that's just a vest. But if you're like, hey, you gotta wear this fucking vest, that's a uniform. Okay? Like, come on. Like, I'm not stupid. It's a uniform, Felicia. And then so then I was like, you know what? The best I'll do is I'll put it in my back pocket. You feel me? Like a biker handkerchief, like a gang member flying colors. So I did that because I was now about to put that dirty fucking thing on. Like, first of all, it's dirty too. Like, we have to share them. Like, this wasn't, it's like my old job at Staples where like we had copy center shirts fitted, like you would order them, it'd be like vacuum sealed or it'd get shipped to the store, it'd be in your size and shit. Like, if it was that'd be one thing, but this isn't that. This is a fucking yellow neon bra. I'm calling it a neon bra because on me it would cut right underneath my man titties, so it would be like, it just wouldn't fit me. It wouldn't look right. It would look very like wrong. It just wouldn't look good. So I was like, you know what? I put it in my back pocket, and then Felicia, mind you, there's a line of, I forgot to get the setting, like the context of the story. I gave the who, the what, and the why, but not the where. So at work, you know, there's like, we're backed up. I'm the only one there doing the self-checkout. Felicia was there helping a little bit because we were getting swamped by like 30 people online and shit because, you know, there's not enough cashiers, not enough people going around and shit. So she's like, send them to membership, the returns desk that's not for transactions but only returns. So like that didn't occur to me to just send people over there for transactions, right? So my brain, so she was like, oh, send people to membership. Then she was like, oh yeah, use every resource available to you so we can, because we really don't need a line or whatever. I was like, okay, all right, great. She's like, you gotta wear your vest. I'm like, the fuck? No. I didn't say fuck no, but I was just like, oh, well, there's no uniform. She says, not a uniform, it's a vest. So then I was like, I'm not. So I put it in my back pocket. Felicia leaves, she comes back, and she's standing there like as if she wants to talk to me, and I'm like, I hope to God this bitch is not standing there about to chastise me about the stupid fucking vest when I'm directing a line of like 30 people to try and just move the line along. And she's fixated on the vest, and I'm like, you're really about to do this right now in front of all these people? You're about to make me have that nigga moment where I look irrational? All right, good. So she's like, what is that? And I'm like, I'm not wearing this, Felicia. I took it out of my pocket. I'm like, I'm not wearing this. And she's like, you have to wear it. It's company policy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, first of all, Felicia, I didn't want to argue with her semantics about like how this was like sprung up last second or how it doesn't fit, how it's dirty or stinky, it's undignified. I didn't even go into all that. I'm just like, I'm not wearing this. I'm putting my foot down. I'm not wearing it. I knew when it happened, like in my head, I was like, I'm never wearing this. I don't care what they say. If they point a gun to my head, I'm like, pull the trigger, bro, because I'm not wearing it. So I was like, you got to put your principles down for something. My gut reaction was just like out of anxiety and not wanting social conflict was to just be like, just put it on, you know, keep my mouth shut, keep my head down, and just put it on. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna wear this fucking dirty rag bra thing in front of 30 fucking people. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I'm like, no, I'm not wearing it, Felicia. And she's like, you gotta wear it. It's company policy. There's no if and but. I'm like, Felicia, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna wear it. That's the fact of the matter. So she's like, well, then you can't work membership. I'm like, you're really gonna send me home? I didn't say that. I'm like, wow, she's really gonna send me home over this vest. I'm like, well, guess what? You're gonna lose. I'm gonna call this bluff because you're not gonna fuck with me, okay? We're not playing this little game where you're gonna like dangle the employment card over my head. So I was like, all right, so put me on the line, which is, you know, cashier slang for just put me on the front line register. Because, you know, mind you, I'd love to do that anyway because I'm a cashier, and it would whittle down the line because then we'd have an extra cashier row, and that would whittle down the line. I'm pretty fast at, not to toot my own horn here, because, you know, cashiering isn't really rocket science. I constantly talk about how I don't have to think doing it, but I'm pretty fast at it. So I was like, you know what, just put me on the line. And she's like, you don't tell me where to go. I tell you where to go. I was like, all right, then put me at membership or that or this. I'm like, I'm not wearing it. And she was like, okay, well then do shop backs, which means, so you know when like someone goes like to the cashier and they're like, oh, I don't want this anymore because they're like, oh, it was overpriced, or oh, I accidentally grabbed two or whatever. You know, when you're a shopper, you don't think about where that shit goes. You're just like, oh, well, you know, they just put it back on the shelf. Well, someone has to put all that shit back, and it piles up at the end of the day when a bunch of customers, you know, collectively forget to put the shit back. So that was the job. So she was like, do that, which is usually something we do at the end of the night when it's dead and there's no customers. So I was like, that's impractical. There's like a line of 30 people. You don't know how to help people. From like, she was trying to help me direct people, but she didn't know how to use the machine when it breaks. She didn't know how to she doesn't know how to ring up a register. She's the general manager of a store. She's the head honcho of everything. And she doesn't know how to use the cashier, the register? That's wild. That's wild. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That's stupid. It's just, how do you not know? She didn't know how to do a return. She didn't know how to return something. How do you not know how to do transactions in your own store, Felicia? Felicia. So I'm like, all right, now wearing this. She's like, all right, go put stuff back on the shelf. I'm like, all right, fine, bet. And I go, I do it. The line's still there. It's still busy. They're still swamped. Nothing changed. I'm doing it. Then the other manager calls. So the whole thing with the vest, the reason she's not adamant, apparently corporate yelled at them during some like monthly check-in thing because they're looking at the security camera. They're like, how come they're not wearing their vests or whatever the fuck? And I'm just like, well, you can't say that you're a business casual store that lets you wear whatever the fuck you want. There's no uniforms, and then arbitrarily decide that you have to wear a uniform. So I'm like, bruh. Anyway, so the point is, so I'm doing the shot backs. My other manager, Bryce, who's more like on the hands-on, I want to say, more like in the field. He's one of my more chill. I had 2 chill managers. I think I have 5 managers. Until I have 2 that were chill. One was Rob, who I mentioned earlier, and the other is Bryce. And Rob's gone because he got a new job at Red Bull. Get this. So this job was like, yeah, you're a manager, and we're not. You can only do the night shift. So he has a family. Like, he has a wife and like 3 kids. Like, actually, and he doesn't get to, so when he comes back from work at night, he doesn't get to see his, when he has to go work at night, he doesn't get to see his kids because his kids go to school in the morning, and then at night, he's not at home, so he can't see them, so it's fucked. And he's got to work like fucking 7 days a week, so he never gets to see his fucking family. So, and they couldn't be flexible about it, and I'm like, that's some bullshit. But anyway, good for him, he got another job. See, this is why I liked Rob, because he was chill, and when customers were sassy or being an asshole, if there was a problem, he wouldn't complain. He'd just be like, all right, whatever, you want to be upset, be upset. Like, it's not going to make me upset. You know, he was chill. You know, he was rational. You know, he was a grown man. Unlike Kyle, who fucking likes to sass. He's sassy. He's a bit of a whiner, to be honest. And I know that sounds hypocritical considering that I'm ranting and whining right now, but he'll like, I'm doing that off hours. I'm not doing that on company time. I keep my mouth shut during company time, you know, because I have something called a work ethic. I have something called professionalism. You know, he likes to have arguments, get sassy, and, you know, argumentative with customers and people. I'm just like, why you got to do all that, bro? That's extra. That doesn't even, who does that help? And it's like, first of all, you're a grown man. Like, Squidward is a cartoon character. If you want, you shouldn't be Squidward at your job, like, actually. Okay, he's a caricature of the lazy employee that doesn't want to work at that dead-end job, right? So if you're a grown man. Like Rob, you have the option to resign and get another job. Like, I'm not trying, like, people are like, oh, well, you don't know the circumstances, it's easy to say, oh, just quit and get another job, this economy, and, you know, bills and shit. I get it, I have bills too, I'm in credit debt. I know what that shit's like, bro. But like there's a difference between like making money to survive and working in an environment that's unhealthy for you, or something that doesn't bring you, like, not pursuit of happiness shit, but like, I don't know, not even like world peace and utter happiness, but just like a modicum of joy. You shouldn't be upset all the time going to work, is what I'm saying. You should be at best indifferent. On a good day, indifferent, or neutral, I should say. On a good day, like having fun, and then at a worse time, just meh. I dealt with an ugly customer today. It's whatever. It got resolved, right? So, but you know, he wants to be sassy. He wants to be like, he went on this like diatribe, like, not just about me being lame, but on this thing. So why does everyone call me for every little thing? People need to be more self-sufficient. I'm like, bro, you're a manager. That's what a manager does. You manage people, and they have to come to you when they need help. There's a reason Karens fucking go, I want to speak to the manager, because they want to talk to the person in charge. You're in charge. With great power comes great responsibility. Ute Kaele. Fucking fake Latin. Anyway. So that happened. So, alright, Bryce. So, Felicia's like, you wear the vest, blah, blah, blah. I'm not wearing the vest. I'm doing the shot backs. So I'm in, like, the back of the store, not So I can't see the line. I can't keep track of the line. I glance at the line every now and then when I'm walking there, and I try to move things along, but I do it quietly because I don't want Felicia to be like, hey, you can't help the line without that vest, which is stupid. But then Bryce was like, yo, where'd you go, bro? Are you on break? Because, like, normally you tell the manager when you go on break. So he thought, like, I went on break without saying nothing while we were busy, which I never do. And I'm like, no, I'm doing shot backs. He's like, why? And I'm just like, because again, it doesn't make sense logistically. That's something you do at the end of the night when it's not busy. And I'm like, Felicia said I can't do self-serve without a vest. So I was like, I'm just put me on shot backs. Then he immediately goes, I'm putting you on register 5. I'm like, all right, bet. The smart thing to do. See when you're too busy playing fucking work politics and fucking power moves and shit like Felicia and Kyle and the rest of them, you're not thinking practically about, okay, how do we solve the problem of the line of customers and getting all these transactions done so we can like have the work day going operative. I don't know, maybe have the guy, instead of directing the line to use the self-serve machine, how about having the guy who's a trained cashier to cashier? I don't know. Sounds like a good idea. So anyway, Bryce did that, which was bad, and I'm just standing there like, I'm like, yes, take that, Felicia, Miss. Well, you don't go. You don't tell me where to go. I told you where to go, and I ended up there anyway. So what did that little bit of a power move do for you? That little bit of ego boosting of like, I'm a manager do for you? If you're a manager, manage, okay? Like, put in the work. I don't know what to tell you. Like, how are you general manager? You don't know how to operate the cashier. I can kind of understand maybe you forgot how to operate it. Maybe, because like maybe years ago when you were an associate or whatever, you're like, oh yeah, that was years ago, and the registers were older. Maybe I could almost understand that, but even then, as an active manager, you think they train them on every fucking set. Because you're a manager, you're supposed to be a multi-purpose tool. You're supposed to like be able to assess every situation. That's what I thought a manager was. No, apparently a manager is just someone who keeps track of sales. And I'm like, well, newsflash, Felicia, we're not getting a lot of credit card sales because a lot of people are too busy being upset that they have to wait a fucking hour to get their groceries done. When they've been waiting for 30 minutes to get waited on, and then you go up to them and like, hey, you want to buy a credit card? And their response is, fuck no. Like, what do you think? Like, it's ass backwards. It's a stupid fallacy, bad thinking, just not smart. Anyway, that's work. It's nice to let all that stress out. I've been bottling that up all week. I'm like, damn it, to go on the stream and talk all that good shit. And I said niggas by first name, so I don't care. They record this shit, whatever, and I get fired. Bet more time to stream, people. Let's not actually dox me and actually get me fired. So let's cool it with that. But like, I'm at my wit's end. Not my wit's end, because I've had a psychological break at work, my old job before. So this isn't that, but like, it's weird because like I feel like I'm tolerating a lot of bullshit at my job because I'm like, oh yeah, I've had it worse in the past, and I'm like, maybe like at the same time I don't know, like, is that healthy? Like, oh, I've gone stronger than I did before, or is this like me being desensitized and not recognizing that something is wrong because I'm like, oh well, this isn't as bad as before, and it's like two wrongs don't make a right. Which is why I'm glad I put my foot down and was like, yeah, I'm not wearing that bullshit. Yeah, you definitely you gotta put your foot down, sorry, on things. You gotta have a code. You feel me? I fucking love ice cold agua, dude. This hydro flask is fucking saving my life. Fucking love it. It's like I said before, water is better than sex. I don't know what to tell you, it just is. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, my stupid job. I was talking about my stupid job. So that happened. Oh yeah, the car accident happened. Alright, so the context of the car accident, so the tardies or whatever, so me getting late a lot. So my manager, after a night of like just utter busyness, and mind you, they had me, the new kid who was like 15, and that's it. And he was nowhere to be seen or whatever. and it was just me and this kid, and like a line of 30 people like, where's the manager? I'm trying to radio him right now. I'm like, hey Kyle, can you come over here? Need some help, bro. A lot of people are asking for you. He's just like, I can't come over. I'm just like, bro, this can't be the only cashier. Like, no offense to Sean, but he's like a kid. You feel me? He just started this week. He's just a kid. He can't do 30 people. Like, come on, bro. And he's just like, yup. I'm like, dude, really? You don't answer the radio this whole time? And then when I ask, is he the only one that's going to, you constantly go like, yep. See what I mean? He's sassy. He's not like he doesn't talk professionally at work. He gets all sassy and shit. And I just don't get it, bro. Look, bro. I don't like the job either, but like, I'll do the job. I don't complain while I'm at work. You feel me? I complain off hours on stream for that content, for that clout. But I don't like go on air. I don't like at work in front of customers like get all sassy and make these like comments like, oh, I don't care about my job, because you don't care about what you're doing. The customer doesn't feel appreciated, and they feel like, oh, they doesn't give a fuck about what I'm doing. Why should I give a fuck about treating them nicely? You feel me? That's just not a healthy work environment. And so, you know, I have, like, again, like the whole thing about reasonable solutions. So I was like, okay, well, I'm a cashier. Not, oh, right. So the reason it got so busy, aside from us having 3 people, which is, I wouldn't even call that a skeleton crew. I'd call that like a half a skeleton crew, like a baby skeleton crew. It was really like a fishbone crew. It was that. And I was like, okay, look, Kyle on the radio, I was like, how about this? The line's getting really big. No one's coming to the machines because mainly people are trying to use cash, and there's a coin shortage in my state. I can't speak for other states. In my state, there's a coin shortage, and without coins, you know, the machine can't accept cash, because without coins, it can't give change for cash transactions, which is, you know, illegal, I guess. I don't know if it's illegal to not give change back to customers, but I'm pretty sure it's bad. So, you know, the machine doesn't work. So, you know, there's this huge line for Sean, like, oh, I gotta pay in cash. And so then that happened. I get Kyle. I'm like, all right, so, you know, hopefully Kyle's more reasonable, you know, than Felicia and isn't going to suggest something stupid. So I was like, all right, how about this? How about I go on the line, help Sean out, whittle down the line, and you come up here and help people with the machines. I think that makes more sense, practically. And he said, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, what? Not even like, nah, I'm doing something else. Nah, he's like, nah, I can't do that. And I don't even know if he was doing something else. I really do not. I want to assume, but there were times where I saw him sitting doing some shit like on a computer or something. Like, dude, what the fuck could you possibly be doing that's more important than making sure that like let's say on average people spend $200 on groceries, right? So you got 300 people. What's 200 times 300, right? Let me do the math real quick. So it's 30 times 200. So that's about $600, not give or take, you know, tax and, you know, my estimate being off, but that's about $6,000, right? So you, instead of trying to secure that $6,000 for the store and net profit, you'd rather do whatever, like, just not. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it's not good business sense. Like, say what you will about like my terrible experience at Staples, at least they knew at the end of the day to make, like, they prioritized making money above all else. Unfortunately, they prioritized making money over like treating their staff correctly, but at least it in a cold way it made sense. And this, it just does not make sense. Sorry, I was texting an amico and I got distracted. So yeah, that happened, and that same day, and then lo and behold, guess who appears? Bryce finally clocks in, sees the chaos, and is like, "Oh, Mecca, go on this register." I'm like, "That's what I suggested earlier." And I'm just like, why is it that Bryce is the only one who has like common sense, bro? It's stupid. And I'm just like, and then he was like, yeah, I'll do self-serve. It makes more sense. And I'm just like, yeah. So then it's almost as if you suggested the common sense thing I said fucking an hour ago, bro. So he comes in, suggests that we're doing that. The line whittles down because, you know, of course. And then there was this dude and his family. I finally go in the line. I feel bad because he was standing there for like 20 minutes with his family and shit. They're just waiting to get groceries. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, bro, about all that. There's a coin shortage. He's like, oh, yeah, really? There's a coin shortage. And he's like, yeah, no problem, bro. I'm just glad it, like, you know, be able to get into this line instead of waiting for that other one. And the dude, I ring up all this stuff pretty fast. As I said, not to my own horn, but I'm pretty fast cashier. And the dude pulls, his transaction came to like what, like around $200, something like $130, something around there. And he pulls out a fucking JFK half doll. And I'm like, oh, neat, you have a half doll. And he's like, yeah, I love these, blah, 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 blah. You know, and I'm like, yeah, me and my mom used to collect coins. He's like, oh, cool, so you know about the whole coin collection thing? I'm like, yeah. I make a little joke like, oh, I see where the coin shortage went. You have all the coins. And I said that as a joke. No, this dude legit had every fucking coin in the state because this dude was paying in coins. And I'm like, this dude is wilding. This has to be a prank. Because it's usually some fucked up prank someone does, is they'll pay a whole transaction in coins. And he's pulling out half dollars out of his pocket infinitely, and he's counting them to round them up to like $100. I'm just like, dude, you're not about to pay for a $100 transaction with coins. And then there's like a line of people behind him, and I'm like, oh no, he's doing this. I thought he was like gonna do it for like a few bucks, or like, you know, sometimes people like they want exact change or whatever, so they get even bills. But no, he's just like, yeah, I'm paying for a majority of this transaction in half dollars. And so I had this whole tray of half dollars stacked on my not desk, but like cashier conveyor belt line of coins, counting the coins. Then I had to get my manager, and the manager's there. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm looking at the manager, I'm looking at the customers behind them. They're all like upset. They're like, what the fuck? They thought the line was moving faster because they had to wait for this bullshit. I apologized to the customer after him. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. They're like, it's not your fault. And then she had the audacity to just flip through a coupon book after I finished scanning all of her shit. Because, you know, I felt bad for her. And she's scanning. Oh, who the fuck is calling me? Hold on, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, like, it's gonna be a telemarketer. Alright, I'm sorry about that. It was a telemarketer. It was bullshit. I should have just not answered it. Anyway, so yeah, she was flipping through a coupon book and was taking like so long. Even the boyfriend was like, yo, honey, let's just get out of here. Let's just go. She's like, no, we could save $7. It's like, and it's like, yo, get that save. You know, I have no problem with coupons. So I was like, you know, can you skip it just this one time, lady? Like, come on, bro. And then you know, I think there were 2 more customers after her, and then like the line finally down. It was a weird day. It was a terrible day. I felt really bad for Sean because he barely got to go on his breaks, and then I was like, yo, Sean, you did a good job, bro. If Kyle's not going to say it, if no one else is going to say it, I'll say it. You did a good job today. So thank you. Appreciate it. And, you know, like, I can already see, like, that kid was a greenhorn. He just started last week. You know, he was, like, kind of shy, timid, like, unconfident. I think this is, like, I could be wrong, or could be reading this wrong, but I think this might be his first job. Like, his first ever job. Part-time job, or whatever. Which is fine. That's good. But he's, like, kind of nervous. But, like, after that, you know, he was talking about just shit. He was like, yeah, I had to stay here early. I couldn't get my breaks, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he got bitter, bro. And I was like, damn, bro. A weekend, this dude's already bitter. This shit is fucked up. The morale at this place is terrible. the morale is terrible. Everything was hunky dory my first week, and then the wool got pulled over my eyes. I'm telling you, I used to go on all my breaks. I used to get food. We got free food. They gave us sandwiches one time. It was sick. The break room, now the break room is mosquitoes up in there. They give us the leftover food that's like that's at the sell-by date, so it's got to be eaten now. It's like, oh, here, get those pigs' table scraps. I don't know, man. Something changed. The air changed, the atmosphere. And like I said, like, oh, Rob and Bryce are my only chill managers. Capo used to be chill. He was really chill in the beginning, actually. I was, oh yeah, at least half of my managers are chill. It's just the head manager and this other uptight manager. His name's Joe, and I'm just like, oh, he's a little uptight, but I think I can just avoid him. He's not as hands-on in my department, and the brief moments I talk to him, it's pretty like a matter of fact and cordial, so we never really have a problem. But yeah, he's the kind of guy that's like, his mouth will say words will come out of his mouth, but you can tell he doesn't mean what he says. And not to say like he's disingenuous. I was gonna say he's not, but he sounds disingenuous. And I can also tell he doesn't give a fuck about this job. Like he's a hard worker. I'm not gonna take that away from him. He's a hard worker, but like he'll get a little like Kyle gets sassy with customers. He'll just be rude to customers, and I'm just like, oh damn, bro. He'll be like when a customer wants to talk to him about something, he'll be like, why the fuck are you talking to me? He'll be like, oh my god, I'm not, I have other shit to do. Why the fuck are you wasting my time? He's that kind of guy, which is like, yeah, like he's worked here for years, he's jaded. I can't tell him, I'm not his manager, I can't tell him how to conduct himself. You feel me? But it's just like, come on, dude. Like, you're the manager. Customers are supposed to come up to you and ask you stupid questions. You didn't want to be a manager, then don't be a manager. And then it's like, oh yeah, well, that's easy to say. Pass up all that money, bro. Look, again, principles. Principles are priceless. Your self-respect and your self-worth have no price. This is what I'm trying to preach, okay? Because otherwise, you're gonna end up this bitter, upset dude whose day, instead of helping people, is spent pissing people off, and it's not worth it. You're just promoting negativity into the world instead of promoting positivity. And so that happened. I don't even remember what I was saying about him. Oh right, he's disingenuous. He's the kind of guy where I'm like, oh hey man, how you doing? And he'll be like, oh hi buddy. Like he won't like it's like, cool, alright, don't remember my first name, but like you could at least pretend like you thought you knew my first name, right? Like, buddy just sounds so informal. It's like a vain. Buddy sounds like something like someone in the trying to sound sociable would say. I don't know. It's like he's got this wall, this social wall, like in between every interaction, and he doesn't let not like his guard is up, but like as in he's shy, but his guard is up as in like he doesn't want to get personable with you. Like he doesn't want to know you. He doesn't want to talk to you. He doesn't want to like. He doesn't want any sort of attachment or conflict, he just wants to go to work, clock in and clock out. That's it. He doesn't want, if he could go his whole day without talking, he would. And more power to him, but again, like, managers have to communicate with their employees and with their customers and shit. That's what, like, there's nothing wrong with being that quiet dude who stocks shit in the back. There's nothing wrong with having that job. It's a very admirable job. Not everyone wants to lift shit. But like, there's, and I could tell that's the type of job he used to have, because that's mainly what those are the people he usually helps out with. And when he's busy, he's usually doing shit like that. So I have a feeling he used to be one of those stock dudes, and they promoted him. And then he realized, oh fuck, now I gotta like talk to people. So, he's a little disingenuous. He'll be like, yeah, unfortunately, buddy, I don't know. Like, and it's funny because like me for this little thing, and then one time Felicia said because we were short staffed, and a customer was like, yeah, the line's so long, what's going on, why are you guys so short staffed? She's like, no one wants to work because of COVID, and the what's it called, the stimulus checks and all that shit, and the unemployment checks, which is true to a degree, that unemployment checks, like the $600 monthly checks, do cover people's basic needs better than minimum wage ever did. But I really wouldn't say that's everybody. I would say for every 2 people that, like, again, this is me coming out of my ass, but this is kind of like how I feel about it as someone who was denied the unemployment. I feel like everyone who, and for every 2 people that got approved for the unemployment, there are 3 people who didn't get approved, and they're not employed because of sick relatives or just like us being an essential worker's tough in this day and whatever. Not everyone got vaccinated yet. Not everyone's comfortable like going to work again. They don't feel safe going out to get that money. But then there are others at the end of the rope. They're like, yeah, I gotta get that cash because I'm broke. I stretched this out for like a year. I can't not work for a year. So it's like, it's kind of like condescending for her to say some shit like that. And it's like, no, Felicia, it's not because people don't want to work. It's because people don't want to work here. This is a hostile working environment. How many new employees I've known, not including myself, who have come really chipper and like eager to work. They're like, yeah, I'll do this, that, and this. And then you hit them with all this bullshit and, these weird requirements and like nitpicking, not covering people, and everyone calling up, people just not showing up, managers showing up at the 11th hour to not help because they apparently don't know what they're doing. It doesn't make sense, bro. It's not a great job. So yeah, that was the week I had. It was very weird. I also did a lot of overtime because I was like, fuck it, I'm closing. I don't stream when I close because I'm too tired. I gotta go to sleep. So I'm like, let me do like 2 or 3 extra hours. So I'll be like, instead of going home at like 10, I'll like go home at like 12 or like 1 o'clock, just doing all the shot backs because it went normally like at the end of a shift with like a normally staff shift. There's like 1 or 2 carts full that gotta get put with stuff that's gotta get put back on the floor. Now there was like 6 full carts full of shit because of there's just no one there to do it throughout. Because normally during the day you'd like do it little by little, so that way at the end of the night there wasn't that much. But when there's like no one there, so it's like there's no one else to do it. And if I didn't do it that night, no one was gonna do it the next day, and then I'd have to do more stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And Bryce's like, oh, you don't gotta do that, man. You can go home, bro. It'll get done tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, but like then I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow. I'd rather just do it now while I'm here. So, also I gotta fix my front light after that car accident. I've been talking in circles and I haven't gone to the car accident. Okay, long story short, that crazy day happened where it was just the 2 of us, the coin dude, the long line, all that shit. Kyle says, it's 8. I expect him to be like, oh, you did a good job there. I know I got busy. He's just like, you gotta come in tomorrow at 8, not 8:10. I'm like, all right. And I'm like, really, dude? After that crazy ass day where you were no help, you're really gonna chastise me for coming in 10 minutes? Like, God damn it! After all that bullshit I had to go through today, fuck. If I come a few minutes late, like, who the fuck comes at 8 a.m. to do a return? A sociopathic old lady. That's who. That's exactly who would do some shit like that. So then I'm speeding the next morning because, of course I'm tired because I had to do with all that bullshit and running around and accommodate all these people because we're half a skeleton crew. And then I'm speeding and I rear-ended a dude and pushed in my front light. The dude was chill about it. He was like, yeah, I offered to call the cops. I gave him my information. I was like, yeah, let's do it through insurance, blah, blah, blah. And it's weird because he hasn't called me back. And like, I feel like I should... Like I'm supposed to report it to Geico, but like at the same time I don't want to raise my premium. I don't know if this is like some weird game of like we're trying to see who makes the claim for, because the way it works is that whoever submits the claim, their insurance policy goes up monthly. And I finally got mine to go down after points on my license going away, because during quarantine I wasn't driving, and yeah, the dude just hasn't called me. I haven't called him. My mom thinks he's not even a legal immigrant, which I think is a bit of a stretch. But she came onto this whole conspiracy theory because the dude's license plate was from Maryland and not from Jersey. Yeah, I got into a car crash, Julia. Welcome, by the way. I got into a car crash. Explaining it right now. So I got into a car crash. I was late for work. I speed rear-ended a guy. I was fine. He was fine. I offered to call the cops. He said, "Oh, there's so many to call cops, bro. Here's my phone number. Here's my name, and we'll just like hash it out later, bro. See ya." And then so yeah, he's never called me, and he hasn't called me back. He has my information, and I have his, and I took photos of the accident. And my mom's like, "Oh, well, I think," because it says Maryland on the license plate, and she's a lawyer, so she's like, "What they're doing is people are bringing," he said, "undocumented immigrants who are working here, who can't get a license, will bring in rental cars from Maryland and drive them into New Jersey. Because I guess there's something where you can rent a car in Maryland without a license or something. I don't know the specifics of it. But, the accident was like literally last week, the beginning of last week. So I'm like, maybe my mom was right, because this dude there's no way he forgot. Like, you don't forget getting into a car accident. But he just hasn't. But anyway, so back to my boss. That happened. So it's funny because, like, if I didn't speed, I could have very easily gone there for 8:03. And the ironic part about the whole thing is that no one was there when I got there at 8:40. No one was there. I asked Mary Jane, my coworker, to cover for me, because I called her. I was like, "Yeah, I got into an accident." She was like, "Oh my god, you got into an accident? I thought there was an accident and you were piled up on the highway." I'm like, "No, I was in the accident." She's like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was like, "Did anyone show up, like, with their customers? Because, they've been on my ass, so you gotta come in at, before 8 o'clock. We need people here in the morning, blah, 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 because you'll come in and no one's here to help the customer or whatever." And I'm just like, oh my god, who the fuck comes right at 8 to return something? It's bullshit. So to my surprise, surprise, no one was fucking there. And if I just drove normal and punched in at 8:03, I wouldn't have to pay $500 to fix my fucking front light. And yeah, it was the accident my fault. I shouldn't have been speeding. Should I have woken up earlier? Whatever the fuck the case is, I blame Kyle. and then later, I explained to my other manager, Joe, I'm like, "Yeah, I got in a car accident." He was like, "Oh yeah, okay." So he didn't even notice or care about my tardiness. Because again, he's that kind of guy. He doesn't like talking to coworkers and people. He doesn't want to deal with humans. But then Kyle shows up, and I tell him, because I'm like, "Let me get the earliest you come to the grocery." So my grocery store opens at 8 because there's like senior hours or whatever the fuck. I don't know. So I told Kyle, I was like, "Let me get ahead of it," because I already got pulled into HR for coming in late too many times. Let me get ahead of it. I was like, "Yeah, I was late today. I was late by 40 minutes, even though you told me not to be late." And I was like, "But before you get upset, you have to know I was in a car accident." He was like, "Oh, whoa, where did that happen?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm right on 36. He was like, "Right here on 36 in the corner here?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, you..." Then he sassily says, because again, he's very sassy. He's like, "Well, you almost made it." I'm like, "Dude, seriously?" At least Joe and Mary Jean had the common decency to be like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Like empathy. And then he was like, and then like there was like this pause, and I'm standing there, and I think he realized like he didn't say, "Are you okay yet?" Then he was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Because I was like, "You son of a bitch, you didn't give a fuck." And mind you, the same dude who's like, "You gotta come in at 8, not 8:10. Guess what? When he was supposed to show up? He was supposed to show up at 10. He shows up at 10:45. So what the fuck? I don't know what that saying is. Monkey see, monkey do, or whatever. Or whatever, follow the leader, whatever. If you're a leader, you're supposed to lead by example, right? And you can't get nitpicky about people coming in 5, 7 minutes, 10 minutes not on time, not to the millisecond, and because they have to take 2 minutes to walk into the fucking building from the parking lot. You can't get picky about that, and then also be the guy who walks in whenever he wants and not help people when they ask for help. Like, it's bullshit, dude. Like, it's bad management. It's bad morale. Like, don't bullshit me. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. You feel me? Like, all you're gonna do, like someone, like when he pulled me into HR, and they're like, yeah, 2 more tardies, and you're gonna get terminated. And I was like, great. And they were just like confused. Like, did you just say great? I was like, yeah, great. Okay. I don't give a fuck. I did what this is like. I don't want to say this is a summer job, but like this is side money to me. Like this is a hobby. This is a paying hobby to me. I'm a full-time content creator, bro. This is a job. Like this is. I know I'm full-time like at this job, but like to me it's part-time. Like I'm not taking this shit seriously. I don't want to climb up the ladder and be a grocer the rest of my life. You feel me? I'm an artist, bro. I'm doing this because I have bills to pay. I have credit payments to like catch up on, and to be honest, I've caught up on them because you know I've been saving cash. I haven't been spending so much on fast food. I've been using coupons at the supermarket to get Julia, do as I say, not as I do. Seriously, it's bullshit. And so so I'm like, you know what? My credit's paid off. I have some savings. It's not a lot. I was gonna use it to like fly to Chicago to see my friends. But now it's gonna all go to fucking fixing this car, which is bullshit. But even if all my savings went away to that, at least I could say, hey, my credit score is a little bit better. You know? And I'm again, it's the principle. Principles are priceless. You know, it's not, oh well, I'm paying this job, so I guess I can't complain. I guess I can't. I gotta take it. No, you don't have to take shit. You're an adult. You feel me? And if people aren't gonna treat you like an adult, then you have to tell them as an adult, fuck you. So you're gonna terminate me? What? Oh, so I'm never gonna work in this grocery store again? Oh God. Oh, whatever will I do without this minimum wage job? I don't know. Get another minimum wage job. Like fuck you, dude. Come on. Like Rob quit, fucking got a new job at Red Bull. Not saying I'm gonna work at Red Bull like he did. He had like a fucking work history and shit. Obviously, yeah, it's gonna suck that there's like a gap in my resume, but all I gotta do, honestly, is just tell people COVID. Like, where were you the past year and a half? COVID. You don't need to know where I was before. You don't need to know that I was working at a grocery store and got fired for tardiness. Despite the fact we're understaffed and the managers show up whenever the fuck they feel like. But, yeah, so, again, like, they want to terminate me, bro. I don't care, bro. The morale was high. I used to care in the beginning. Like, I used to care because of all the bullshit that's been going on. I less and less stopped caring. And it's not like I go in late on purpose. It's just, like, it's hard for me to, like, I don't like disclosing this information. Like, I'll disclose it online to you guys or, like, my friends or whatever. I don't like disclosing it to, like, people I work with because, like, to me, you're a coworker, not a friend. I take sleep medication. So, like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm a little groggy. You feel me? I'm a little drowsy. And, like, I go to the gym so I can wake myself up. Snap myself out of the droopiness. And so, like, every morning when I have to go to work, and I'm a little droopy. Like I'm better with the afternoon because I usually get more sleep. But like if I have to be up at like 6 a.m. so I can get to the gym and then go to work, yeah, I'm gonna be like 10 minutes late because that's when the morning traffic starts for everyone going to work. And you could say, oh well, Mecca, just skip going to the gym. I'm not gonna skip going to the gym. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm fat. I'm trying to fucking, like, better myself. Part of the job was like, oh, I'm gonna start going to the gym. I'm gonna better myself. I'm not gonna make a New Year's resolution and just start doing it. I'm gonna start, putting my money where my mouth is and start doing the work to self-improvement. Make some side cash, stream, and lose weight, So I'm not gonna I feel bad because this week I couldn't. Last week I couldn't go because I got sick. This previous week, I couldn't go because, what was I gonna say? I couldn't go because of this whole, they're on my ass about the tardies, and I'm like, you know what? Also, my legs were just killing me because I was doing overtime at like 2 a.m. loading stuff onto the shelves, so my legs were killing me. So like I couldn't, and like I only do half an hour of cardio before I go to work. I don't like lift weights or do push-ups or anything. So when I like wake up, I'm like, oh my god, my legs still fucking hurt, my joints. Yeah, I'm gonna like take this extra hour to sleep and not go to the gym, which is bad, but like I'm gonna get back to it tomorrow before I go to work for sure. Because my legs are feeling better. I'm having less joint pain as I did because I was having so much joint pain. Because that store's a maze and you gotta walk like a lot. It's not as big as the Walmart, but it's still pretty big. Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm like neglecting the chat. I don't mean to. Um, I feel that I show up at 9 to 9:10, but most of the other managers come in at 9:10 a.m. But I feel like they sometimes get cranky if they show up at 9 and I'm there at 9:10, even though they usually show up after me. It's bullshit, bro. Just because like it's a paying job doesn't mean you can treat people with disrespect. You feel me? Like principal has no price tag. And yes, I know it sounds bratty, like oh well, you're an adult, you have to make sacrifices. It's like yeah, that's fair. But I don't think your dignity and self respect should ever be sacrificed. Not even for let's say it's $1 million. It's not worth it, bro. When you give away, like when you become a millionaire with no dignity, all you've done is become a rich chump. There's probably a better way to word it, but yeah. Don't be a chump. Don't let people walk over you and bullshit you and be like, well, I'm paying you, so I'm gonna treat you like shit, and because I'm paying you, I'm gonna take out all my frustrations on you and all this shit. Like whether it's a customer, manager, whatever. What I've learned is customers aren't always right. Sometimes they can be very wrong and very ignorant. And those people, I like to take the Rob approach and de-escalate things and not get upset and just be like, okay, you're upset. Well, guess what? I'm not. So just stand there and be upset because I'm not upset. Again, Kyle's the kind of guy who likes to get sassy back at them. He's like, okay, I'm the manager. This is what you wanted. Be upset too. And you know what? On top of that, not only am I going to be upset, call corporate. See what happens. Guess what? I'm not going to get fired. And it's like, look, bro, I get it. You're a manager. You have some level of invincibility. But, like, don't pick fights with customers, right? What is that going to solve? All that's doing is making things worse and more stressful and making... Like, again, like I said, you're a grown man. If you hate your job this much, that you actively pick fights with coworkers and customers, maybe you should just quit, bro. Like, what? Like, are you in that much debt? Like, super debt? That, like, you gotta go through this shit? Like, you have a choice, bro. You have free will. You're an adult. You have the ability to make a choice. You can quietly resign and get another managerial job or a different job. And from the looks of it, it doesn't even sound like you like being a manager. It just sounds like you like the paycheck, but you hate all the responsibilities in the title. So just don't be a manager, bro. I don't know what to tell you, because it sounds like you hate it. Like I'll say what you will. Like I'll say all the bullshit about my last job and how it was toxic and the office politics and the drama and the bullshit and the overtime and the working 9 to 9s. It was terrible. But I will say this: my managers liked being managers. They liked that shitty job, despite all the bullshit, and they weren't good at it. They weren't good managers, but they enjoyed being a manager nonetheless. So, I don't know. Again, maybe I haven't found that sweet spot retail job where you just go, not have to think, and just get some passive income. But maybe that's a pipe dream, and everyone's like, well, you're the adult world. Jobs suck. Every job sucks. Even the jobs you want suck. Which I don't necessarily believe. I don't know. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but, like, so far, I haven't worked that many jobs, but like I've worked 2 other retail jobs, and they're both for the same company, and they were both a little toxic looking back at it, and I don't think I realized it because I was like in middle school at the time. No, sorry, high school at the time. So I was like, oh, I'm just making money. So I didn't really think about like the drama and shit that was going on around me. And when a customer would be unreasonable and yell at me, I'd just ball it in and then explode. But I was a teenager, so that's how I dealt with everything. I was like, oh yeah, this is just normal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's where I live. I don't know. But I've worked in places where common decency and just respect had a cost, and or it was pro quo. You had to negotiate for it, And I don't like that. I don't think that's what a job is supposed to be. Yes, is a job supposed to be work? Yes, but like that's it. It's supposed to be work. And yeah, people will say, "Oh, I don't like working." I don't care how lazy you are. You feel me? There's a minimum. There's an amount of mindless work that you can do while making cash. Okay, and let's say this. No matter how lazy you are, everyone is susceptible to boredom. Playing a video game is work because you have to memorize shit, hand-eye coordinate shit. Your hobbies are work because you're putting hours and time into it. You might call it something else, but you're technically putting energy and time into something, and you're working at it, right? Even now, I'm drawing. I'm technically working. You feel me? But I find it relaxing, so that's whatever. But I'm losing my train of thought. I'm saying basically what I'm saying is you're expected to work. That's it, right? That's the bare minimum. Just work. You don't have to deal with people yelling at you. You don't have to wear monkey suits and look like wear a neon bra vest that says Line Ambassador on it and all that. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go there and ring people up. That's it. That's it. And when you're not doing that, if you're going to work higher or some shit. See, that's the other thing. Again, I don't know this kid's name. I don't want to out him or whatever. I didn't want to snitch on him. But there's this kid, 15, 16. Not the other kid I mentioned earlier. Different kid. Again, I don't know his name. But this kid apparently got caught by somebody huffing the condensed air out of a whipped cream tank in the break room. Which is really funny, but also really fucking pathetic. That he did that shit during work. And I'm just sitting at, because, not to say that, oh, he should be doing hard drugs, but, like, it's sad that he's doing, like, those over-the-counter drugs, like, the things, like, kids have to do because they can't get weed, or whatever. I don't know, it's just weird, bro. And I'm just like, hold on, so they know about this. People are, because everyone knows. There's no way the managers don't know. Because everyone's been talking about it. Everyone's like, hey, that's the Whippet kid. Everyone's been talking about this shit behind the kid's back. And I'm just like, so everyone knows he's huffing condensed air on company time. And no one's pulled him into HR to fire him? I feel like that'd be an instant fire, right? At a retail job? They don't give us piss tests or anything, but I feel like that's an instant fire right there. Yeah, you want to get on me because I'm 7 minutes late? Like, fuck out of here, bro. See, this is why I don't give a fuck about this job, because they don't give a fuck. The management doesn't give a fuck. They give a fuck about the things that undermine their authority. So, like, I'm sure, because, like, he'll make up some bullshit thing like, oh, well, when you come in 10 minutes late, so-and-so can't go on her break. And it messes up everyone else's breaks. Which isn't true, because I always cover people's breaks. I always cover people's breaks. People cover my break. I always cover people. There was a dude, I mentioned this in the last stream, where he, I think I gave him a fake name. I'll just say his name. His name's Gilberto. He's the dude who stands at the door, or whatever, and checks people's receipts when they come in and out, to make sure no one shoplifts. And he has to stand there for 8 hours. No chair, no stool, whatever. And I covered his break one time, and he was like, oh, thank God, dude. He's like, I really appreciate it, because, like, I haven't gotten any of my breaks all week. And I'm like, what? That's bullshit, bro. What the fuck? This dude's like a grown man. First of all, I didn't want to tell him what to do, because, like, I'm not his life coach. He's like, what, 30, 40? He's like a grown man. I'm like, dude, you're a grown man. You can tell these people, yo, I'm going on my fucking break. If you don't have someone to cover the door, that's on you. Fuck off. And if they fire you, they fire you. That's how, I don't know. Again, people could be like, oh, you're being stubborn, Emeka. You don't know how to compromise. You don't know how to negotiate. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I was raised, but, like, my mom just taught me not to take shit from nobody. So, like, I'm not going to take that bullshit. So I was like, damn, that's some bullshit, man. So for him to lie to me in the HR thing, be like, oh, well, people have been missing your breaks this week. I have never had someone come up to me and be like, I couldn't take my break because you came 10 minutes late. They always say, oh, hey, Emeka, what's up? Like, I'm going to take my break around this time. Are you cool with that? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll cover you. I've never had someone come up to me and say I wasn't able to take my break because of you. That's never happened. I know he's bullshitting. I know he's bullshit. He's just making up some quasi legitimate. The real thing of it is he feels disrespected because he feels like if I'm coming in at 10 after he told me to come in on time, he feels like I don't care about his authority, right? So I feel like all this is the hullabaloo is just like smoke and mirrors to be like, see, you're gonna fall, you're gonna listen to me one way or another. I think the last thing he wanted to hear from me while I was in the HR thing was, great. After saying you're gonna get terminated, I said great. I think it was the last thing he wanted. I think he wanted me to be afraid, or he wanted to shook me up and be like, oh, yes, sir, Master Kyle. Yes, of course I'll come in on time. I'll come in an hour early. Yeah, fuck you, bro. So, and I told him off about the vest thing, too, which he got upset about, too. He's like, oh, well, God, what's gone into you today? I'm like, look, bro. If you want to huff and puff your chest and be like, I'm a manager, you gotta listen to what I gotta say, then be a man. Then you can't at the same time complain openly in front of other coworkers. I don't like being a manager. Everyone has to come to me with every little thing. Like what? You want me to play the smallest violin for you? Boo fucking you! You signed up for the job. You take up the responsibility. Like what the fuck? Like I don't know what the fuck. Like some people are just different, bro. I don't know if it's the way they're raised or what's in the water. I don't know. Some people just don't add up to me, you know? They're just unprofessional. Just like not. And like I'm saying all these big words as if like I'm a professional, or as if I'm not a big goofy McGoofer brain who draws cartoons. Like I'm not some kind of retail sales expert. Okay? I'm just someone who is educated and taught to have dignity and self-respect for others, and not be a sassy little whiny bitch at work. I don't know. Sorry, I'm ignoring the chat. I know someone whose sibling did that with all of his compressed air for cleaning a laptop. Yeah, that's weird. Don't do that. Don't do that. Drink water instead. Touch grass. Do anything but that. Get the runner's high. You feel me? Do what I've been doing. Hit that cardio for 30 minutes. Get that runner's high. That's a nice feeling. That runner's high and then that nice cold refreshing drink and a cold shower. That's the high you should be on. Not lightheaded and shit. Come on, dude. At work. McCream tank? Seriously, dude? I often don't take my breaks at Sears because it's so understaffed, but shifts were only 4 hours and the store was dead most of the time. See, that's the trap of it, is when it's understaffed, because you feel like an asshole, because you're like, oh, well, they need help, and I gotta help. I'm the only one here who can help. That's not your fault. It's their fault, because they didn't fucking hire people. They didn't provide coverage, and the managers don't want to fucking help. Because I had this other coworker, her name's Rejoice. She was like, hey, can I switch with you on the 20th? I need to see my family for a family thing on the 20th. And I was like, oh, I can't. I'm working on the 20th. And when you work on the same... You already have a shift. You can't cover their shift. You feel me? So she's like, damn it. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I would if I could. And then she asked like everybody else. And it's like, damn it. No one's off on the 20th. And I was like, why don't you just call out? That's like 2 weeks in advance. Just tell them you can't make it. You got a family. Family comes first. I'm sure they'll understand. It's like, I can't because I'm supposed to pull a double and they got no one to do that. And that's going to fuck them. I'm like, well, fuck them. That's their fault. Let the manager cover you, bro. That's their job. They're managers. And she's like, I can't. They're really going to be fucked. It's a busy day on the weekend. They need people. I work 80 hours a week. And then she was like, Felicia doesn't know how to use the register. And this is the general manager I'm talking about. By name, by the way. So, I could lose my job, but whatever. I don't care. I think it's embarrassing. If you're embarrassed, Felicia, that you're a grown woman and a general manager of a store and you don't know how to use a cash register, which is it's a calculator. How do you not know how to use a calculator? Come on, Felicia. It's common fucking sense. She doesn't know how to do it, apparently. So I'm just like, well, Rejoice, I told her, I'm like, how is that possible? She's the general manager. I'm like legit confused. I was like, legit, like, that doesn't make sense. And she was like, yeah, It's bullshit. And then she walked away and she was on her phone with like her relative, like, yeah, I don't think I can go to this family thing. I know, but no one's here to cover me. Blah blah blah. Which, you know, personally, I don't go on my phone while I'm at work, but you know, she's jaded by the shit. She's their 80 an hour a week workhorse, so she's kind of had the she knows where everything is in the store. She knows all the codes and shit by name. Customers like her. She's in this like weird position where she could get fired for being insubordinate, but like they rely on her too much, so they have to have leniency with her, which is again not healthy. Again, not a healthy work thing. But like again, it's like it's bullshit. She shouldn't have to work 80 hours. She's not a supervisor. She's not even a manager. She was a supervisor at one point, but they got rid of that position. So like instead of laying her off, they were just like, yeah, you can just still work here full time and do all the same shit you were doing before, but not without the title, the responsibility, or the money, which is bullshit. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I would like sometimes I want to just tell her, just like, yo, you should quit, bro. And I don't know her financial situation because she talks to me about like her insurance shit, like for her car and so. And I get it, everyone's got bills, but like this isn't healthy. 80 hours a week, you don't get all your breaks, you're pulling double shifts, and they won't even allow you to have one day off. It's bullshit. This is crazy. Like I said, you're expected to work, not die. It's stupid. Exactly. Yeah, like you can't move it. And she's not even asking for an extra day off, Julia. She's asking to move her day off. To move it to that day so she can do the thing with her family. That's it. It's not unreasonable. Any work employer could be like, oh yeah, that's reasonable. You're telling me in advance. But because they rely on her so much, she's literally, I don't know what the I think his name is Atlas, the guy from Greek mythology who holds the earth on his shoulders. But they literally treat her like that, like she has to carry this whole burden. And I'm like, she's not a manager, she's not a supervisor. If she calls out, the whole thing shouldn't fall apart, bro. And when I call out, I've never called out, but like, because I know if I call out, no one's gonna show up. But like, it shouldn't be like this, bro. And I don't think this is a hiring thing. I think this is a management issue. At first I thought like, oh yeah, this job's not that difficult. You know, it's a wheel. I can see how the money comes in with people buying memberships and buying their bulk groceries and all that shit, you know? That all made sense to me. Like, I don't see how no one wants to work here. The pay's not that bad. There's breaks, there's a break room, there's free food. I don't see the problem. I didn't get free food at my last job. So like, I don't see the problem. But then I realized the management's just terrible. So I'm like, oh. Then you have that epiphany and you're like, oh shit. But now I'm trapped. But yeah, that was my work rant.